Good morning. That's right. Good morning. It's morning here. And I am Ellen of Ellen's Healthy Kitchen. And I am here to help you plant your plate one healthy meal at a time. I'm very excited to be here. I'd love to know where you're watching from. First of all, I'm coming to you from Massachusetts, from the North Shore of Massachusetts. Right over the laptop here, I can see the bay, which leads out into the ocean. It's kind of a little bit of a cloudy day, but that's okay. Prodigal Aquarist is here. Did I say it correctly this time? Good afternoon to you. It's still morning here. It's almost afternoon. Excited to be here. I have quite a session, a live session scheduled with you. I have a lot that we're going to go over. I am a strong believer in prepping. That is my middle name. The reason that I have been able to be successful on a whole food, plant-based lifestyle is because of the prepping that I do. And it's sort of a make or break for me. When I get hungry, like, get out my way. If I'm hungry, I can't even talk to you. I get kind of inconsolable. And so for me to have a fridge full of, and a freezer and a pantry full of, just full of ingredients that I can grab quickly and pull together a meal, it makes all the difference. It's also what helped me lose the last 10 pounds. And I'm going to have to tell you that my husband is in the background making noise. Sorry. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, he's done. Making noise. So Kim, welcome. I got your card. That was so very sweet of you. I really, really appreciate it. And I promise you that I'm going to be answering you by email. And then you will have my correct email address for sure, and you'll be able to answer me. So I will be doing that. I promise you. So anyway, where are you watching from? Let's start there. It's always fun to see that. TS says, good morning, all watching from Southern California. Oh, it's 8 o'clock there. So you're just getting your day going, or maybe you've already been up for a few hours. Ooh, do you hear that? Ooh. Catherine is coming from LA. Welcome, Catherine. Great to have you here. Make sure that you, if you look on your screen, you will see an image, an icon of a thumb. And if you click on it, right now I see 3 people that clicked on it. But if you click on it, it will help YouTube know that this is a worthwhile live that they should broadcast out to other people who might be interested. Kim is coming from Southern Virginia. I know that Prodigal Aquarist is coming from the UK. So where are you coming from? Let me know. Let us know. And then in the meantime, I'm going to reiterate my trick that has really, really helped me a lot. Tia says she's retired but has 4 cats in the house and they have their own clock. I'm sure they're in charge. We know who's in charge, right? So this is my trick for drinking more water. Does it work all the time? No, but it works a lot of the time. What I do is I fill my container, whether it's a smaller one, do I have one close by? No, I don't. Oh, like this one. Hold on, I'll be out of the for a second. Like this one, you can see it's smaller, right? No matter what it is, I fill it with water, and then when I go to drink, I literally drink, I count 10 gulps, and I try to make them big gulps. I'll only do a few, but I'll show you what I mean. I'll count them on one hand. That was 5 right there. And the cool thing about this top is that, I should have given you a link for it. It's in my Amazon, or you know what, it will be in my Amazon store. The cool thing about this is that it's a screw on top that fits on the narrow neck of a mason jar. And the other cool thing is that when a product is well designed, I just love it, right? This one has a handle, should I choose to use it. And then it clips in. Do you hear that snap in? So it doesn't move around and hit you in the nose when you go to drink. But the other cool thing, the same with this lid, it kind of clicks in. Listen to this. You hear that? So that when I go to drink, it doesn't flop and hit me in the nose. Yes, chug, chug, chug. So anyway, this is great, and it's a great way to go through. By late morning, early afternoon, I've gone through a jar, which is it's got 32 ounces in, and if I do 2 of those, I'm pretty happy camper with how much water I've had to drink. So anyway, you might have noticed, those of you who follow me, that I decided to do an earlier live today. Instead of my usual 4 o'clock on Thursday, I'm doing it at 11 o'clock Eastern because I have to leave the house in about, what is it, 2.5 hours. And so I needed to leave a cushion of time. So usually I'm at 4. Today it's at 11. Before we move on, I would want you to please give a round of applause, and you can actually find the thank you, the applause, or you can do a heart, whatever, or a thumbs up for Prodigal Aquarist, because he is our moderator and he makes sure that everything goes as planned and that everything stays cool in the chat. And he helps remind me if somebody asks a question, he helps remind me to answer it. So speaking of questions, if you have a question that is related to pretty much anything that I do in this niche, which is whole food, plant-based, oil-free lifestyle, is to just put either, you can put 4 question marks, or you can do 4 Qs. And that way, both Prodigal and I will see that, and it's easier for me to then, see it and then answer your questions. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about prepping, and prepping is so very important. It is, yeah, that's right, Prodigal. 4 Qs, just like that. Like this, you asked a question. So that's perfect. I can see it more easily. It kind of like jumps out at me. Let's see. Oh, Kim says she received her plant-based Woman Warrior cookbook. That's fabulous. For those of you who don't own that book, it's a good one to have in your library. It's actually a great one to have in your library. And I'll tell you a little trick. Some of you might think this is sacrilegious, but when I try a recipe in a cookbook, in the front of the cookbook on the inside cover, I put the name of the recipe, and only if I liked it. Really, the name of the recipe and the page number. And then I always write on the recipe things I did differently, things I liked, things I didn't like, things I might change. The next step for me to do, that's great to do, but then you don't always remember what cookbooks you use that had what. And I have a lot of cookbooks. So I have a fabulous app on my phone called Paprika. And so my next step is to actually take those recipes from the cookbooks and import them, take pictures of them or type them in so that I have them in my app, because the app is really helpful. When I want to look up a recipe, I just put it in the search and boom, it's there. So if you don't have it, and I think it's relatively inexpensive, I'm not sure how much it is, but you can have it on your phone. You can have it, I think it's both iPhone and Android. You can have it on your tablet. Some people, I think, have it on their laptop, but I'm cool with the phone and the iPad. TS says, I have that cookbook. However, cooking is not really my thing. So I look for lesser ingredient recipes. Well, I think that they have a few that might qualify as lesser. If you look at I have 2 granola recipes on my YouTube channel. The one I just did the other day, just recently, is I think it has maybe 8. But like some of those are like cinnamon and cardamom. So it's a pretty easy recipe. But I hear you. And actually, TS, now that you're bringing that up, what I'm going to talk about today kind of relates to that, because not everybody wants to spend time on their feet in the kitchen cooking. They'd rather, obviously it would be easier to do takeout, but that's not, sustainable from a financial standpoint. And even if it were, it's not healthy, because most restaurants use tons of salt and fat that you don't need. And it's so much better to prep things at home and then make your own meal. I have a friend who's on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. She's WFPB Foodies by Anna Maria. I can never remember the full name, but she did a I'm sorry, I can't talk. She did a video, I think yesterday, maybe, where she said that you can turn your house into your drive-in. So instead of driving, in her case, she lived close. She was going out to do errands that weren't far from her house, but she had a lot of them to do. So she decided halfway through the errands to go and stop by her house and do a drive-through at her house, which I think is brilliant. Really makes a lot of sense. So the point being, make it easy for yourself in your home so that putting together a meal, especially if you don't like to cook, is easy, because all you have to do is really, the most effort you have is pulling the stuff out of the refrigerator, because you have prepped it at least once or twice a week. If you put an hour in on Sunday and an hour in on Wednesday or Thursday, you're golden. Kim says, I also put smiley or frown faces or stars so I can tell whether I like it or not. Yeah, whatever your method is of letting you know. I also don't think twice about writing in my cookbooks, because they're mine. They're not going to, they're mine. I can write in them, but that way you can write what you liked or what you didn't like. Okay. So, oops, I forgot to flip this up. Go get your glass of water right now. And every time I take a sip, I challenge you to take one. Let's see if we can get through the rest of this by the end of our live. Okay. So there are basically 5 things I want to talk about today that relate to this. And did I mention to you, also make sure that you do a thumbs up, a heart, a clapping emoji for Prodigal. I want to make sure you do that because he really deserves it. So thank you, Prodigal. I am eternally grateful to you for your help. Kim says, I live in the country. Takeout is not an option. Yeah, but you're kind of lucky in a way, because, we don't even do takeout. We just don't. We don't do takeout because of the prepping that I've done and that I've learned to do. And I wasn't born doing this. It really is something I've developed over the last 6.5 years. But now I have to say I'm good at it, and my job is to teach you how to do it. I have a coaching client I met with this morning, and I'm teaching her how to do it. If you want to up level your skills at this lifestyle, whether you want to go full tilt all the way, totally whole food, plant-based, no oil, or you want to dip your toes in, or somewhere in the middle, if you're interested in having an accountability partner, I am that person for you. You can find a link in the show notes below. And if it's not there now, it will be there when I'm done with this live. That is for sure. As a matter of fact, I will ask Prodigal if he can send me a message on our messaging app and just remind me, if you would please, that I need to put that link for coaching in the show notes. That would be great. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is this. Prep components, not meals. I give kudos to anybody who lines up their containers and makes 10 meals, with all the components of the meals in them. I'm not that organized, frankly. And for me, and also I'm very spontaneous, and I like to do things that are, I'm spontaneous. I like to maybe have some variety in my meals. So I personally don't necessarily want to eat the same thing every single day for a week. I might eat components of it in different forms, but for me, I think it's important for us all to prep components, not meals. That's what I think. Beth says, watching from Bloomfield, New York. Welcome, Beth. I have a sister named Beth. It's a good name. All right, so I'm going to show you what I just did. I just put a towel down on the counter, and I'm putting my cutting board on top of it. Now, yes, this is plastic. There are people who do not like it. I can tell you that I've gotten many, many comments that I should get rid of my plastic cutting boards, and maybe eventually I will, but for now, this is what I've got, and I'm going to use it. So I'm going to fix this so that it doesn't have any bumps in it. Okay, and this is my cutting board down here. So prep components. Let me see my notes. Instead of full recipes, prep individual ingredients like grains, which we're going to do today, beans, chopped vegetables, and sauces. If you do those 4 things, you are covered for the week. This gives you flexibility to mix and match those components based on your cravings, what you're in the mood for, and also based on your schedule. And what it's going to do is help you build your own plant-powered bowl or plate. I kind of like bowls in minutes, because you have all of that done. So tell me in the comments, if you would, if you could right now open your refrigerator and take one thing out to prep, what would that one thing be? A single ingredient. Okay. I'd like to know. And while you're doing that, thank you for clicking on the thumbs up, because that's nice to see. And there are 16 of you here. I am so thrilled. If you're watching and you're hearing and you can type, please put in the comments where you're watching from. Tia says she would do a red bell pepper. Don't you love when the red bell peppers go on sale? Like they're really like at their height, and you can buy a lot of them. It happens like once or twice a year, I think, like summertime. Beth says spaghetti squash. Oh, I love spaghetti. Do I have one here? I do. Look at this one. This is a baby. This is a little baby one, right? And these are so easy to make in the Instant Pot. They need no time at all. So, and the great thing about spaghetti squash is, first of all, you can have it on its own, topped with whatever, or even just not topped with anything, just maybe some nutritional yeast, and yum, you can go to town. Maybe some seasonings. But you can also take it and you can mix it with other, like you could mix it with julienne or spiralized zucchini. You could even mix it with pasta and just have the amount of pasta. So you're doing, so say you made a chickpea pasta, for example. You could do half the amount of chickpea pasta, like spaghetti, and then the other half could be this. So it would be sort of a mix and a nice textural kind of surprise when you eat it, I think. All right. So who else is telling me what they would? I'd like to know what you would do. Kim asks, how do I prep my grocery list for the month with fresh or frozen foods, no canned goods? How do I prep my grocery list? I think that what you would do is decide what you want. Like, what do you make a list right now of 10 of your favorite vegetables, and maybe a couple of your favorite starches, and a couple of your favorite kinds of potatoes, for example. Maybe 2 or 3 of your favorite sauces, and then you build your grocery list based on that. So in other words, instead of going the other way and going and just buying all this stuff and then coming home and figuring out what you're going to make, instead of doing that, decide what your favorites are. Pick a few faves and then build your grocery list from that for a month's worth. I hope that answers your question. Okay, I'm going to start with, I got to open it up. I'm going to start with my quinoa jasmine rice that I make in the pressure cooker. Now, if you don't have an Instant Pot, I just have to ask you why you don't, because they're one of the greatest gifts known to this whole food plant-based lifestyle. It makes eating and prepping food so easy. It's kind of like crazy. I have a 3-quart, which I have back here that I'm using. I have a 6-quart, which was my first baby. And then I have an 8-quart, which I acquired from the side of the road. Somebody was literally throwing it out and she never used it. I was like, what? So I bought it. Kim says, everything is already prepped in my fridge. You're great. Then all you have to do is decide, you can just pick one from column A, one from column B, one from column C, pull them together, and you've got a meal. The cool thing about doing this, I find, is that so many of these prepped components that I make all fit together. It's kind of like putting a puzzle together, and each day the puzzle is a little bit different. Okay. All right. So what I want to tell you about this recipe is this. I have read that there's really not much of a difference nutritionally between white rice and brown rice. I'm not sure that I agree. I think the brown rice maintains the hull, the outer fiber. It's more fiber, I think, than white rice. And I love white rice. I love how pillowy it is. It's if I had to pick one for the rest of my life, it would be white rice. That's me. But I also know that it's important to have other grains. And the other thing I will say is I do not love quinoa. I just don't love the taste of it. Even if I rinse it, even if I buy it and it says rinsed on the package, I still don't love it. And so what I do then to kind of lessen the impact of the taste that I don't love is I mix it with the white rice. The jasmine rice is usually my rice of choice. And somehow the two of them, the synergy of those two, the white rice and the quinoa, is bigger than each of them on their own. It's absolutely yummy and delicious. So Having said that, let me get started. I'm going to take the stainless steel bowl. It's smaller because this is a 3/4. And I am going to start with a 1/2 cup. Yeah, I smell it and I don't even like how it smells. And I know this was a rinsed one, but I don't love it. So I'm going to do a 1/2 cup of quinoa. Feel free to write these down. Okay. Prodigal says Ellen's coaching link can be found in the description below. Oh, did I put it in there? Excellent. See, I'm more organized than I thought. Under the heading, how to work or connect with me. And you will have a free, complimentary gifted session with me for 15 minutes. It's a short amount of time, but it's enough time for us to get to know each other and to find out whether you're the right fit for me and whether I'm the right fit for you. It has to work both ways. Okay, so now I'm going to take this 1/2 cup of quinoa, put it in. Then I'm going to take the same amount of jasmine rice, which I keep in this big container, and I label it because I love my green labels. You can see with jasmine rice. So now if I really, really wanted to do it the right way, I would actually rinse both the both the rice and the quinoa, but I'm not going to do it today. So I'm not going to be perfect. See, I love how that smells. In goes the 1/2 cup. And the next thing I'm going to add is 1.5 cups of water. So in that goes. And the last thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to hop out of the screen for just a second because I want to add a couple of more things. Now, it doesn't say this in my recipe, but I just know what I like. So this is a Trader Joe's umami seasoning, and you can find umami's kind of become a thing. You can find it in a lot of different places. So I'm going to just have this so you can see it. And I'm not measuring, as you can see. I've learned what's enough, and it's got a very pungent kind of a smell, but I like it. Yes, I do. I like it a lot. And then I'm going to open this one. I have a new favorite seasoning company. Mrs. Dash makes all kinds of seasonings. This one is called onion and herb. Put that in. And maybe I'll add a little bit of, this is the greatest. It's for salt and pepper, but I put cumin seeds in it. And cumin seeds are really good. A good source of something. You think I remember? I don't. So I have that, and just kind of stir it around a little bit like this, and then I'm going to put it in the Instant Pot, and it needs, according to the directions, it needs. Hold on, I got to find my directions. Oh, okay. It needs 1 minute on high pressure, and then it naturally releases for 10 minutes. So I'm going to put it here. And before I do that, I'm going to show you just a little trick that I do. I'm going to click on saute. And what that does is it actually heats up the water. And then when I see that it's heated up, I will then click off the saute, and I will then set it for 1 minute. And what happens is that then the pressure cooker comes up to boil, if you will, quicker. So that's my little trick. So that's done. How hard was that? And then when it's done, I'll put it in a container. And when it comes to room temp, actually going to take it with us where we're going, because we're going away for a couple of days. This way I'll have it. And I have friends coming in to water the plant, so I'm cool with that. All right, so how long did that take me? I mean, it took me longer because I was talking, but really I think it might take a minute, if that. And I actually, this last week, I doubled the recipe because we had company. I made sushi bowls on Saturday, and so I made double, and then I had it over the course of Monday, Tuesday. I think I finished it last night. So that's easy. Okay, that's the first thing. Any questions at all? TJ says, Costco sells pre-rinsed quinoa. Not a fan of it, but I love jasmine, white and brown rice. There you go. You can mix. I don't know, because I've not done it, whether you can mix cooking in the same container brown rice and white rice, because the white rice takes so much less time. And I fear that if you do it to make sure the brown rice is cooked enough, it'll turn the white rice into mush. So I don't know. It might be worth doing just making them separately so that you can then mix them on your own. A little bit extra step, a little bit, extra to clean up. But I think if you prefer that, that is absolutely fine. Yeah, I don't love the pre-rinsed quinoa at all. But I find that when you mix it with the jasmine rice, it just is not noticeable at all. The thing I don't like about it kind of disappears. All right. So number 1 was prep components, not meals. And by doing that, you get to make a meal from the components. And if you have any questions about that concept, do let me know. One of the things that I talked about with my coaching client this morning was that I always say, I'm sorry if it's boring, but Rome was not built in a day. And changing from decades, 5-6 decades of eating the standard American diet to all of a sudden finding another way that you can make sustainable. It's hard to do that. It's hard to make that change. I'm the first one to tell you that. And so, she realized that early on in our coaching, and today we Okay, I'm back. I don't know what happened, but let me know if you can hear me. And while that's happening, this already came to a boil. As I mentioned, I have quinoa, a mixture, half a cup of quinoa, half a cup of jasmine, and 1.5 cups of water. And let me just double check here to make sure I did that right. Yep, 1.5 cups of water. And now I'm going to put it on for 1 minute. And the thing is, it's going to come to a boil. Ooh, it smells so good. So I'm going to click on pressure cook, and I'm going to go down to 1 minute. And once it hits 1 minute and it tells me it's done, I'm going to leave it for a few more minutes to finish. Okay, that was weird how that happened. I don't know, but at least we're back. Okay, so yay, we're back. All right, don't know what it is, but I was able to actually come back to this live, which is weird. Don't know why that happened. All right, so we're talking about 5 things you can do to help make prepping better. Yes, the thrills and spills of live entertainment. Yes, you have to keep you cool while it's happening. All right, second thing is to choose your anchor ingredients. Write that down. Choose your anchor ingredients. Let me read you what I wrote. You're going to start your week with 2 to 3 filling, calorie-dense staples like brown rice, potatoes, lentils, or tofu. And these are going to anchor your meals and make sure you always have something hearty and satisfying and satiating. Fill your tummy up. Fill those, you're going to keep your hunger pangs away, ready to go. So we did jasmine rice and quinoa. And the next thing we're going to do is cauliflower. I don't know about you, but, I once took a class where it was a class on being efficient. And it was a long time ago. And they asked us to name one thing we hate to do. And I remember very clearly, I'm talking 40 years ago, the thing I hated to do was empty the dishwasher. So they had us time ourselves. They gave us time to empty the dishwasher and then come back. And I think it had to have been a several part class, because then we came back and said, wow, it literally took me like 2 minutes to empty the dishwasher. And ever since then, I know that there are certain tasks that might seem abhorrent, but many of them don't take that long. And for whatever reason, we drag our feet. So, boom, cutting cauliflower for me is that I don't like doing it. It's a pain in the neck, but I'm going to do it. Let me get this out of the way. By the way, this is kind of cool. This is a tricolor quinoa. I didn't use that today because I want to finish up my white quinoa. TS says, I just got a 6-quart Instant Pot. Is there a simple way to cook either sweet potatoes or plain potatoes, no spices? Absolutely, positively. It should have come with I don't have it here, but it comes with like a rack that sits on the bottom, and you put water in the bottom. I usually do about 1/2 cup-ish. And then you put scrub those potatoes, put them in, look up. There's, a million references. For me, I usually do about 8 minutes if they're sort of medium size. Like if I were to do this size potato, I'd probably do 10 minutes. And depending on how big they are. And And then you want to take them out. You want to let the pressure release immediately and take them out, because if you don't, they'll continue to cook and then you'll end up with mush. Okay. So yes, absolutely. You can do that. And I should probably do a whole, if you're interested, let me know. I can do a whole live on how to cook potatoes in the Instant Pot. I should do a regular video about that too. So thank you, TS, for that question. I often will do potatoes for lesser time. Like last night, I'll show you this picture. Oh, see, I hear it. It's like it's doing its thing. I'm going to show you a picture, if you can see it, of what I had for dinner last night. It was good. Or did I have this for lunch yesterday? I think it might have been lunch. You see that? So over on this side right here, those are potatoes that I had made. I made Yukon Golds in the Instant Pot, and then I put them in the refrigerator. And they were in there for like 3 or 4 days until I finished them. And then I took them and I cut them into smaller pieces, and then I seasoned them and I air fried them for about 15 minutes, and they came out like crispy little croutons. That's my kale salad. Does that not look fabulous? So delicious. So yum. So yes, cooking potatoes in the Instant Pot is a piece of potato, piece of cake. Okay, I'm going to take the plastic off of the cauliflower, and I'm going to stop whining about it. I'm whining because I hate cutting cauliflower, but you know, you do it and then it's done. And then I'll tell you what my favorite way of eating cauliflower is. You're going to think this is nuts, but plain old, nothing on it, steamed in the microwave. I like it soft, almost mushy. It's delicious. Okay, it came up to pressure like in 90 seconds, which is much faster than if I had put in the water and started it without doing the saute first. So it's now going to take 1 minute, and as soon as it turns off, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to let it go for another maybe 10 minutes or so, because I want it to do a natural release. It'll continue to kind of meld and cook and do its thing. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to put this down so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take this stuff off. And there are people who will keep this, and I'm not one of them. I'm sorry. I feel like you should be able to eat everything that comes off of it, and you probably can. I have not graduated to that yet. So I'm just taking off these extra pieces and getting rid of them. Just makes it a little bit easier to cut it. And oh, see, it's done. You hear that beep? It's done. And then I'm going to take this knife and I'm going to cut off. And, you know, there are some people who do this. I don't know if this will work. Oh, that's interesting. Did you see how that happened? Wow. I just taught myself something new. Okay, that worked. I even surprise myself sometimes. Okay, it didn't work for the whole thing, but oh, that worked. Oh my God, it's going everywhere, but it's working. That kind of makes it fun and easy. Okay, and then now I can cut this off. All right, so that comes off. Okay. Oh my God, I wish I could tell you how good this smells. Let me just put this up and see if we have any questions. TS says, thank you. I like to have them in the fridge and eat them cold. Just got tired of standing next to the stove watching for any cat intruders. Instant Pot, game changer, 100%. If you haven't tried Japanese or Hana white sweet potatoes, I encourage you to do it. They're great and they work really well in the Instant Pot. That's what these are. These are white on the inside, and they're just delicious. Okay, now I'm going to cut this into further down into pieces. I'll try to do it from here. I try to prep it in sizes that I know I'm going to eat and I won't have to cut. Like this, to me, I can't, that's big. So I'll just cut that in half, maybe even another, you know, just, I'll taste it. Okay. Here we go. I even like eating this stuff right here. I find it sweet. All right. So, I'm going to take it. Now, some of it has some stuff on the outside. I don't know if you can see the black stuff. I'm just going to kind of shave it. I'm going to look at what other pieces might have that. A couple on here. Just shave those pieces off. Okay. And then this one has a little bit. It happens less if you actually, when you bring it home. I've had this in the fridge for a couple of days, which don't, do as I say, not as I do. I usually recommend to prep your stuff as soon as you get home from the grocery store. For whatever reason, I know that I won't let it tarnish in the refrigerator and turn to something you won't want to eat, because I know what's in there, but I've been doing this for a while. So see, even this is a little bit on the big side. So I'm going to just cut it in half. This one's really big. Oh, this has some oogies on it. I'm going to cut those off. Okay. And this is big. So cut it in half. Let's see. I'm just going to, I might as well do this now, because this is one less thing I have to do when I want to eat my cauliflower. So those are all pretty good. This one's a little big. This one's a little big. This one's a little bit big. Here. Okay, I think that's good. Oh, this one's a little big. Hold on. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, now this is all done, is I'm going to take these and put them in. I'm going to go out of the picture for a second and grab a container. Let's see. I might have to use two of them. I'm going to do it in this. All right, so this container. And I also have people who come on and say you should not be using plastic containers. I hear you. I'm a work in progress. This one has a little bit of oogie on it, so I'll get rid of it. But, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's hard when you've had years and years of doing something one way. So I do prefer glass containers much more than plastic, but, you do what you can do. All right, so look at that. Now it's done. How cool is that? And then I have several different options for microwaving. You can do it on the stove, certainly, but this is one of my favorite ones, and it's in my Amazon store. And so I just put a little bit of water on the bottom, put my cauliflower in, stick it in the microwave. I do it for about 6 minutes and change, because like I said earlier, I like it really soft. And you see, I still see some stuff. I don't want any stuff that even smacks of just yucky stuff. So I just am careful with it. But that doesn't take very long at all. And it was kind of fun to smash it on the counter, don't you think? All right, I'm going to put this over here. And when we're done, I will put a cover on it, and into the fridge it goes. So that was number 2. Moving ahead. So far, let's rewind. Prep components, not meals. If you're interested in really learning more about this lifestyle and kind of trying to adapt to it, make a list of these things, just these 5 things, and put them on your fridge or put them somewhere where you can see them. Right now I love these sticky size papers, and it's reminding me to freeze the ravioli that's in the my husband eats ravioli, and so it's in the basement fridge, but I want to transfer it to smaller bags. Okay. The first one was prep components, not meals. The second one was choose your anchor ingredients for the week or for the month, like in Kim's case. And wait, before I come on, Boss Man says, howdy, nice to have you here. Prodigal Aquarist says, roast and cauliflower leaves can be roasted to mellow the flavor, then used in stir fries, vegetable stock, soups, and every day is a school day. Right, so all these, I think you're talking about all these that and maybe I'll take a page out of your book, and instead of throwing them out, is that what you're talking about? I can clean them and use them and see how they taste. I bet there's a lot of nutrition in them. Okay. The third one, what's that? I think the garbage truck just passed by. Okay. Use the fridge audit method. That's number 3. Let me read. Before shopping, grocery shopping, or prepping, scan your fridge and use what you already have. This simple habit reduces reduces waste, saves money, and builds confidence in working with what you've got. And here's sort of a fun little something. We knew that we were going to be heading out of town for a couple of days, and so I didn't really want to go to the market and get very much, but we were kind of missing a few basics. So I did do that, but I also challenged myself over the last 4 days to use what I had. And you'd be surprised once you make that a game. You challenge yourself to use what you have. It doesn't have to be this perfect meal. I once read this article that said that with the growth of the Food Network and food videos on YouTube, people will watch videos and then they'll go out and they'll buy single ingredients for that particular recipe. And they end up never making it again. And then they end up having a pantry or a fridge full of ingredients that they're not going to use. So it's kind of fun to use what you have and not always run and make new preparations or new recipes for that matter. Okay, so use the fridge audit method. And that's what I did. Basically, I actually I just looked at what I had, and I always came up with something. You're always able to, it's what I said earlier, Kim, about making fun, different creative ways to combine single ingredients. And you'd be surprised at how delicious of a meal you can make. All right, number 4, invest 60 minutes. Oh, hold on a second. That's my husband's. Okay. I'm going to put that aside. My husband left his phone down here. Okay. Invest 60 minutes once, eat for a week. I shall read to you what I wrote. Set aside 1 hour to wash produce, batch cook a grain or legume, and prep a go-to sauce or dressing. It's one bold move that makes healthy eating effortless the rest of the week. And I feel like this group right here is your support group to help you do that, to remind you to do that, to encourage you, to nudge you, to suggest that you do this, because it really is something that will you'll get, have you heard of the expression, the ROI, which stands for return on investment? Your return on the investment of that 1 hour is priceless. It's gold. Okay. All right. Now, that's what I did. That's what I'm doing right now. All right. I'm going to take, this has 1 minute left, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. This is another little trick that I'm going to teach you. As soon as that hits 10, which it will in a second, I'm going to take this jasmine quinoa mixture with us out of town. I'm going to have it. I'm going to take this, which is what I'm going to do next. I'm going to make some what I call torn tofu. I'm going to make that, and that I will have that with me. And once we get down to where we're going, so I will have this. Oh, I'll bring the cauliflower, right? I can make a meal out of the white rice quinoa, the cauliflower, and this tofu, and I'll make a sauce. And boom, I'm done, and I'll have it for days. And I'm okay to eat this. I am okay to eat the same thing a few days in a row. That's okay, especially if it's delicious. All right. I'm going to remind those of you who are watching to please let us know where you're watching from. First, where you're watching from. And second of all, if you would, click the thumbs up so that YouTube knows that it should send this very, very valuable live to other people. And also, of course, subscribe. And if you're interested, I haven't set any goals, but I think at the very bottom of your screen, you can see a little money sign. And I'm actually at a level in YouTube where you can make a gift. I got a $4.99 gift the other day. I think I got a $19.99 gift, which is really amazing. I'm so beyond grateful for your support. And I love doing this work. It is near and dear to my heart. As you know, I'm a musician. And that was my work for 40 plus years. But now I'm moving into this work, which I feel very compelled and very committed and passionate about. So if I can do anything that helps you, that makes this whole thing worth it. So feel free to let me know by, you can click on that little money sign if you want. No pressure at all, really. No pressure at all. Okay. So that was the 4th one. And the 5th one is to create a weekly prep formula and develop a repeatable system like a grain, a bean, a veg, and a sauce that takes decision fatigue out of the equation and helps you stay consistent. It's your personal meal prep template that evolves with your tastes, evolves with the time of the year, the season, what you find at the market, right? It really will change based on those things. Your daughter called, Michael.
Oh.
And so I shut it off, but just about 3 minutes ago.
Okay.
Okay, your phone is over here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So obviously my prep formula for now for the next couple of weeks, as I said, is this rice quinoa mixture, the cauliflower, the tofu, which I'm going to do next. And I told you that what you have to do now is you have to release the remaining steam. So I'm going to do that. It's going to be a little bit noisy. Oh, you know what? How do you like that? There's not much steam left because over the 12 minutes that I let it go, it released a lot of that steam. So I'm going to turn this off. And this smells so delicious. And I'm going to take this towel. I'm going to make sure this is canceled so it's not going to keep it warm. If I leave it on warm, it'll kind of continue to cook it a little, and I do not want that to happen. So I'm going to put the towel over it. And that's going to sort of absorb some of the remaining moisture in it. And that's it. Once I'm done here, I will then take it out, put it in a container, in a glass container. TS says, I appreciate this channel of yours. We'll have to watch replay on way to appointment. You are so welcome. I'm so glad that you were here. Thank you very much. Okay, I am now going to move on. I'm going to take a different knife because that knife has cauliflower bits all over it. Okay, and then I'm going to, now I have to tell you that this week I tried to make this, I made this tofu recipe that I'm going to make now without tearing it. I did it by cutting it. It wasn't the same. I realized I was counting my fingers but not taking gulps. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the recipe on my phone because I have it in that app. Okay, here it is. So feel free to write this recipe down. One of these days I will do a whole video on it and I will put it in the show notes. But for now, I want to show you. I love this high proteins. This is called organic super firm, and there's very little liquid in it. There's some, but there's very little, so I don't ever feel like I have to drain it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go like this. Okay, and it's got all wet, so I'm gonna dry it on my apron. Okay, and then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna see it already. I'm gonna take this out. There's water in here. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to bring this over here, get rid of it, put this on the towel. I'm going to drain this. Okay, and then I'm going to dry this. Okay, and then I'm going to take these two and I'm going to actually use I have these cute little squares that are cotton, and I'm going to use it to just sort of press out any remaining, there's not very much water. Okay. Do the same thing here. Just press these out. These are, you can find these on, I think in a lot of places. They're like little baby paper towels almost. Okay. And then I'm going to get a bowl. Take this bowl. And I'm going to start tearing. And what I do is just see how I just broke it in half. There's some evidence lately. I've seen a few posts on Instagram about boiling your tofu, and it does something to help. See, I'm just making it into small. Even that to me is a little bit on the big side. So I'm just cutting them. I'm just tearing them small. And put this right here. And I mean, this probably takes more time. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. Just do it. Cut it. That takes, 20 seconds to do that. But I'm doing it this way. I don't even mind some of the little pieces, they're almost like little crumbs that end up air frying, and they're crunchy and very tasty from the what do you call it? The seasonings that I put on it. Maybe this doesn't take that long. Some people eat tofu like this without cooking it. I'm not a fan of that. I prefer to cook it. To me, it just enhances the texture. I don't know. I just don't love it without cooking it. So, and I love air frying it too. So we go here. Okay, I'm almost done. You can see. Okay, I'm going to tell Michael, hold on a second. I got to close the door. I think he forgot. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Oh, it smells so good in here. Okay. There we go. Does anybody have any questions about this? I have a tofu press a new one that I just got, and it's fine, but I don't really need to press much out of this because these super firm, high protein tofus, they just don't have a lot of water. So Kim says she has a tofu cookbook. Great. I think tofu is under what's the word I want? Like under considered. I think it's just it's a really great source of protein. And if you're in any stage of menopause, the more soy, despite what you think you have read, I am not a doctor. I don't claim to be one, but I don't play one on TV. I think that the more soy you have in you, the beneficial, because your body is losing estrogen, and soy is a good form of that. So, okay, I am going to continue, and I'm going to speak the ingredients as I do it, and then you can write them down if you want until I eventually get to including it. So I'm doing 2 tablespoons of nutritional neat yeast, which is often called nooch for those of you who are new to this way of life. I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of cumin. I love this recipe so much, I can't even tell you. I love it. So this is a quarter. So I'll do a quarter, and I'll do another quarter. I'm not exactly, it's okay if it's a little extra. I'm going to do a half of a teaspoon also of garlic powder. You could use fresh garlic, I suppose, if you wanted. Okay, I'm going to do a teaspoon of curry. And this makes it yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay. Quarter. Okay, and this goes back on. Okay, and then I'm going to do 2 teaspoons. Okay, I'm being a little bit, I didn't want to dirty another spoon, but this is fine. I need 2 teaspoons of chili powder. So here's 1, and here's 2. Okay, and then it calls for salt and pepper, but I don't think it needs salt because I'm putting in some coconut aminos, some pepper, and then it calls for 3 tablespoons of water. So I'm going to do that. So here's 1, 2, 3, and then it calls for a tablespoon of coconut aminos, which is this. Bragg's. There are lots of companies now that make it. So 1 tablespoon of this. In here. Okay. And then this is, to me, I don't like fussy recipes either that have a lot of ingredients. So to me, this is super easy. Then I'm going to mix it all up, and the obligatory smell. It smells delicious. It smells so good. And I feel like it has enough of everything on it. Sometimes I'll add a little bit more curry if I'm in the mood, but this is it. And then I'll show you what I do next. I am going to put this over here, get these out of the way. And I'm going to pull out my parchment paper. And I'm going to walk out of the screen for a second. And I'm going to get, okay, I'm coming, making a lot of noise over here. Okay, I have my tray. That is the air fryer tray. And I'm going to take one of these papers. And here's another trick. Sorry for the noise. I'll stand over here. I'm going to crumple it up and then open it. And I know that this tray, I need to fold it like that. This is noisy. I apologize, but crinkly. And then I'm going to take this and pour it on it. And I'm going to use my hands to kind of spread it around like that. Maybe break some of the bigger pieces up. So it's still a little bit big for my liking. Okay. That's it. Baby, that is it. Try to spread it because you want the pieces to brown as much as possible. And if they're too close together, they really won't. Okay. And then I'm going to wash my hands. And I'm going to stick this in my air fryer for 375 and I know it takes 11 minutes. So excuse me, I'll be right back. 11 minutes. Okay, that's it. So it's done. Okay, and that's it. So if we stay on for another 11 minutes, which will be easy to do, you can see how crisp it comes out. And that's it. So now look at what I have we've been on for an hour, but I've been talking. So really this would probably take me 20, 25 minutes maybe. So we have the rice quinoa mixture. We have the cauliflower. We have the tofu. And the last thing that I'm going to make, let's see if I can find it. I'm thinking. So I got this recipe from Brittany Jarudi. And if you're not familiar with the Jarudi family, Jaroudi, it's great. Her recipes are fabulous. Prodigal says, would you call those two photons, like croutons, but tofu? Tofutons. Tofutons. I like the alliteration. Tofutons. It's much more fun to say tofutons than tofu croutons. So I think you just developed and created something that's fantastic. Okay. So I will make, I'm thinking what I want for a dressing. And I think that I want something that I wasn't prepared to make, but I think I will. It's a cheese sauce from, let's see. Tell me I have a few more minutes because I do want you to see what happens with the croutons, or the tofutons. Let me see how many people here are interested in watching me make a sauce. Let me know. Sauces are kind of the thing that pulls it all together. You can certainly super easy is you can do like either soy sauce or tamari or coconut aminos and some garlic pepper, and you're done. If you're gonna, if you don't want to do anything fancier than that, that's totally fine. But I'm curious to know if you're interested in sauces. I'm going to look up in my sauce. Yeah, Teresa says. I'm looking in my sauces, you can do a barbecue sauce over everything. That's quick and easy if you don't want to fuss with making a homemade sauce. You can do, let's see. Let me see. Oh, I have so many sauces. Oh, I have so many sauces. I'm thinking. I think that I'm going to make a green chili lime cream sauce. How does that sound? The cheese sauce is your most popular one, isn't it? Yes, the cheese sauce is my most popular one. And I do love it so much. I can't even tell you. Well, maybe I'll make that. Let me go back and look at that recipe because I do love it. And there is actually a, hold on. It's coming. Okay, I'm going to go here and I'm looking for my cheese sauce. I think it would be easier if I looked for cheese. And there are so many people who have their own version, but they're all pretty much the same. Yeah, and if you go on my YouTube channel, you'll look. I think I did it about 3 months ago, maybe, but there's definitely a cheese sauce. That's the one that I make all the time. It's coming. I can't seem to find it. Hold on. Here it is. Okay. I'm going to show you how I make it. It's going to take me. Patsy says she'd like to see me watch. Okay. So I'm going to grab a few ingredients. So I have to step out. I wasn't prepared to do this one, but I will. So I'm going to take my Vitamix. Nicola says, hi. Nice to see you, Nicola. We're making a cheese sauce. Now, my husband calls this, don't call it cheese sauce. That's what he calls it. Have you made your don't call it cheese sauce yet? So I'm going to start with, let's see. I have to get out of the freezer the cashews. And I will tell you that, and I think this is an important point to make. Maybe if I put this further back, then you can see this better. The point of, first of all, wait, before I do that, let me just see how this is doing. Let's just give it a taste and see how it's doing. This is the rice quinoa mixture that I made. Oh yeah, this is done. Perfect. Perfect. I'll show you how it came out. This is the rice quinoa. You see how it's brownish? That's because of what I put in it, the seasonings, but look at it. It's perfect. So this will go with us on our little outing. I'll leave my spoon in there. Okay. If you're trying to, the chili lime cream sauce is good, but I already got started on this one, so I'll make that another time. I promise. If you're trying to lose weight, I don't talk a lot about weight loss because I want people to get off the weight loss wagon. Not the weight loss wagon, the diet wagon. I think if you adjust the way you eat and you learn to eat whole plants, and you get rid of the oil and the processed foods, you're going to lose weight. Unless you eat massive amounts of anything. And, massive amounts, it doesn't matter if you eat massive amounts of lettuce, which you're not going to do, obviously. But anyway, if you wanted to make this recipe and make it more weight loss friendly, what you would do is instead of having the half a cup of cashews that it calls for, you could do a quarter cup of cashews and a quarter cup of white beans, or a quarter cup of cashews and a quarter cup of silken tofu. Or you could eliminate the cashews entirely and do all, all, it's coming to me. I had a little bit of a brain freeze. You could use all silken tofu, and that would be fine too. But anyway, but for now, because I'm I don't want to fuss with a lot of different things. I'm going to do a half a cup. Now, if you don't have a Vitamix, you're going to have to soak these first in hot water for at least about 10 minutes, okay? I'll put those in. What did I say that was well said? I'm not sure. Nicholas, I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, so it's got half a cup. And this is, by the way, this is Healthy Vegan Mama's recipe. I give her all the kudos. Go find her. She's on all the social media channels, and she's brilliant. Healthy Vegan Mama. She's great. I'm going to do a half a cup of veggie broth. So I have to get that out of the refrigerator. Veggie broth. Now, I'm going to just going to measure this, a half a cup. I'm actually going to use a cup. Okay, I'm going to use a cup of veggie broth. It calls for a half a cup of water and a half a cup of, eating whole foods. Absolutely. That's the key. That is the key. It's how I lost my last 10 pounds. I lost a total of 25 pounds. The first 15 were a pain, and literally a pain. They were horrible. But then I found whole food plant-based. I found Chef AJ. My life changed 100%. And so that's what I do now. And it's helped me maintain my weight loss too. I got a cup of veggie broth. Why not add a little bit more flavor? I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of nooch. Now, you know what nooch is, right? Now that we've talked, do I have another one of these? I don't. So you know what I'm going to do? This is a half of a tablespoon, and I need 3 full. So I'm going to do 6 of these. Okay, so 1, don't let me forget, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 6. So that was 3 tablespoons total of nooch. I'm going to do mashed potato flakes, which is, you can use either Bob's Red Mill makes great instant mashed potato flakes. This is a company that I've discovered that I love. And Vermont, I'm really a believer in using as little processed foods as possible. But there are times where, you can't be helped. And so this is by Edward and Sons, and it's the instant organic roasted garlic mashed potatoes. And I need, they smell good, 4 tablespoons. So again, I have a half a tablespoon. So I'm going to do 8. Help me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's that. Okay, I'm back. Let me know if you can hear me. That was a dragaroo. Boy, we get so used to the internet. It's really a drag. Okay, let's see. Woo! I have a jar of pickled jalapenos, and I just got this brainstorm because I love spicy that I'm going to add. I'm going to add a tablespoon. I'm going to try it. And I'm going to also add, 2 of these. 1, 2. I've never done this before. We shall see. All right. On goes the cover. This is what it looks like. And I'm going to go over here. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Let me think for a second because I want to do this the right way. I'm going to bring this over here. Okay. I got to tell you that I have a mess in my kitchen that's not to be believed. My husband's going to come out and go, what the heck happened? Okay. Let's see, get that out of the way. There we go. All right. You'd think I need a bigger kitchen, but I don't really. Okay, so now recap the ingredients. I shall. I'm going to recap them right now. Hold on. The ingredients are half a cup of raw unsalted cashews. If you don't have a high-speed blender, make sure you soak them at least for a couple of hours in hot water. Half a cup of either veggie broth, or you can do a full cup of veggie broth, or you can do a half cup of veggie broth and a half cup of water. 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, sometimes called nooch. 4 tablespoons of instant mashed potatoes. Use any, as long as they're the cleanest mashed potatoes, like just potatoes that have been dehydrated. 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 1.5 teaspoons of white miso paste, a teaspoon of smoked paprika. I skip the maple syrup in the recipe. A quarter teaspoon of dried ground turmeric, and then a teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder. And to be sure, this is from the Healthy Vegan Mama, who is fabulous. And I added a tablespoon of jalapeno juice from a jar of pickled jalapenos, and then I added 2 slices. So this is going to be loud. I wonder if I should do it. You know what? I'm going to do it over here instead. Hold on. Hold on. It won't be as loud. Okay, I'm going to do it here. I don't know if you can hear me, but usually I let it go for about a minute, and I let the Vitamix get hot, because that way I know it's almost cooking it, but not really. Okay, let's see how it came out. You can see me pouring it in to the jar. Oh my God, you know what? I need to do it some more. I can see that the cashews need to be done more. Let me know if you have any questions. Usually I let it go for a good full minute, sometimes longer. You can see that the cashews really need to be ground up 100%. While that's happening, I'm going to put the lemon in my water. Okay, let's see. YouTube world, let's see how. Nope, they're still. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the color of it. Okay, and I don't want to make any more noise, so I'm going to finish up with you guys, and then I'm going to do it a little bit more just to make sure that it's fully blended. So before I do, does anybody have any questions? Let me know. So I'm going to recap what we did today. We talked about 5 things that I think are really vital for a whole food plant-based way of eating and a lifestyle, which is to prep components, not meals. The second was to choose your anchor ingredients. The third was to use the fridge audit method. The fourth is to invest 60 minutes once or twice a week. And the fifth is to create a weekly prep formula so that you have in your refrigerator at all times, you're going to have a grain, a bean, a veg, and a sauce. So that there never will be a time where you'll say, I don't have anything to eat, because you open your fridge and you always have those 4 anchor ingredients, components. And this is a great sauce to have. And it's plant-based. It's, with the exception of the potatoes, but even those are clean. They have some garlic in them, and they're reconstituted, you have to rehydrate them, which happens in this with the vegetable stock. So, okay. I think I'm wondering if anybody has any questions, and I'm happy to answer. Not playing my ukulele today because we really got to get going. I have about an hour where I have to clean up this mess, pull my clothes together, pull my food together, and clean up the mess, and just make sure that I put everything I need to in the show notes below. I want to say thank you again to Prodigal Aquarist for being the best moderator that any YouTuber could hope for. Go check out his channel. He is passionate about what he does. I don't know if the word is raises. I'm not sure if you what you call it, but he's all about fish. He's not all about the base. He's all about the fish. So please go check him out. Nicola Recipes also, she is also on here and has her own YouTube channel. Please go check her out as well. Make sure that you please subscribe to my channel, because you don't want to miss the goodies. And what I also will say is that if you want to, in the show notes, you will see there's a link to get 3 free of my salad dressing recipes. And then you'll be on my email list, which I highly recommend that you do, because I have a lot of good, fun things coming up. And yes, I thank you for the live, and a good crowd is what it's all about. And I will be back on board with a live next Thursday at 4. That's the goal, to do every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, EDT or EST. And I just want to say thank you to every single one of you. You make it worth my coming on here and doing these lives. It is because of you that I do this work. So every single one of you that's in the chat, every single one of you that's here that maybe didn't put anything in the chat, I'm still very grateful for your being here, and look forward to seeing you again here on the tube next Thursday at 4 o'clock. And I should have God willing, a new long form video posted sometime early next week. Okay. Take care, everybody.